Nasir El-Rufai, the former governor of Kaduna State, recently gave an explosive interview. Here are some of the key takeaways. Now, ministerial rejection. El-Rufai claimed that President Bola Tinubu, not the Senate, was behind his ministerial rejection. He stated that Tinubu changed his mind about appointing him as minister. There's also alleged smear campaign where the former governor accused the National Security Advisor, Nuhu, Ribadu, and Kaduna State Governor Sani of orchestrating a smear campaign against him. He believes they are trying to tarnish his reputation ahead of 2031 presidential election. There's also Tinubu's appointment where the former governors who criticize the president's ministerial appointment, saying they are based on political loyalty rather than ethnic sentiment. He argued that Tinubu's appointments favored his close associates from Lagos. There's also the APC's current state where El-Rufai expressed disappointment with the All Progressives Congress, stating that the party has become inactive and uncoordinated. He lamented that the party has drifted away from its founding progressive values. However, the former governor declared that he has moved on from politics and is focused on his private life and businesses. However, he hinted that he might seek another platform to pursue his progressive values if the APC fails to return to its founding principles. However, the All Progressives Congress has fired back at the former governor for his recent criticism of President Bola Tinubu and the National Security Advisor, Nuhu, Ribadu. The APC's national vice chairman, that's Dr. Ijeoma Arodiogbo, described El-Rufai's comments as pathetic and attributed his outburst as unmet personal expectations and selfish needs. Well, joining me to discuss this at this time is Kassim Afegbua. He is a chieftain with the All Progressives Congress. He joins virtually from Abuja. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Will I call him, I don't know, it's better to refer to him as still a member of your party, but the former governor of Kaduna State really did hit hard on your party and said quite a number of things that has, in a way, gotten a lot of dusty reactions. I would like, as a chieftain within the party, what do you make of that interview?
Well, he has the freedom of speech. He can articulate his viewpoints, and if he feels there's an issue to discuss. But you know, politicians have a peculiar characteristics. When they want to shift the goalposts, they try to look for reasons to justify such movement. The question to ask, if former Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai, if he were to be given a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will he be championing the present, position that he's canvassing? The answer is no. So I don't want us to narrow down issue of political participation on the basis of what is there for me. And so if I don't get what is there for me, then I should break the pot of soup. So for me, I think El-Rufai should slow down, embrace the APC, work with the president, whether you are a minister or not, work with the president, suggest some good, valid ideas that can help deepen the conversation around governance for the APC, and show a more patriotic and nationalistic orientation than dwelling on pecuniary interests or issues of, I didn't get minister, it was President Tinubu who caused it, not the National Assembly, this and that. No, that shouldn't be the motivation. For some of us who are much younger, we want to take a cue from our leaders on the basis of nationalistic engagement.
You talk about him, of course, allowing the sleeping dog lie, move on and work with the APC. But this is someone who, at the beginning of this administration, from this interview, had the intention of working with the president, but he said that the president actually did remove him from his cabinet. I mean, this sounds like someone who feels betrayed. So, don't you feel he has a point here?
No, I don't think there has never been anything that El-Rufai looked for that he accepted that he actually looked for them. He said that he was forced to contest for governor of Kaduna by Buhari. He was forced to become Bureau of Public Enterprise DG by Abdulsalami. He was forced to become Minister of FCT by Obasanjo. Atiku was the one who forced him to do this, do that. So it has never been a matter of interest that is innate in him. Interest that, he actually showed interest. He has always been forced to do something. So maybe this is the first time that he showed interest and he couldn't get it, and now it has gotten to this level. But for me, I want more mature politicians, someone who has, who has run several parastatals agencies, been a minister, been a DG of a Bureau of Public Enterprise, who has been governor of a state, such kind of experience. I would rather such a person, let me say, unites with the internal mechanics and mechanisms within the APC to deepen governance. It shouldn't be about you. If you're not a minister, it doesn't take away the fact that you have ideas to contribute. After all, in 8 years of President Buhari, Bola Tinubu, the current president, was never, an appointee, but he was having an opportunity to meet with the president, suggest ideas, put them into writing, and present to the president as it then was. And that's the way to build some level of cohesion, in terms of party management, getting the politics right and getting the governance right. Everybody can't fall into that category of 50 ministers. Or even if you go a stretch further, 54 ministers or 55 ministers. We can't all get into that. I work for APC at national level. Why won't I cut my neck because I have not been patronized?
I mean, talking about...
it depends on what you want. So for me, it feels like El-Rufai should try and be a team player, embrace the president, encourage the president to continue to deliver on democratic dividends. If the president is going wrong in some areas and aspects, he can put everything, his thoughts, in black and white and pass to the president. Someday the president may call him and say, Madam El-Rufai, you are doing so well for me, thank you. I need us to sit down and discuss. It shouldn't be that because you didn't get a particular position and so every other person should go to hell. No, okay. I don't think that should be the motivation. I mean, whether somebody denied you or you were not denied, you've been governor for 8 good years, you've been minister in this country, FCT, you've been director of Bureau of Public Enterprise. Maybe this is even time for him to even take a rest and get himself together before he begins to, join other aspirations. But Nigerian politicians, you can predict quite a number of them. I mean,
before we, of course, move away from the issue of ministerial or appointments generally, he also cited the fact that the president in terms of his style of appointment, seems to have appointed political loyalists, rather than ethnic sentiments, where he feels that the appointment isn't spread enough, but instead it seems to favor more of close associates with the president. I mean, you're a member of the All Progressives Congress, a strong member, even at the national level. Do you think that Mr. President's appointment is reflective of, the geopolitical spread of Nigeria?
Very well so. You see, the point must be made that when President Buhari was appointments were lopsided, I didn't hear an El-Rufai complaint. So if he had complained at that time that the appointment was lopsided against the southern part of the country, I will understand that that means he's very consistent with the same point he's trying to raise now. But President Tinubu is appointing loyalists. Who else will he appoint? Will he go and appoint those who are disloyal or who are not known to him? He has to vouch for the capacity and the sense of responsibility of his ministers. And if they are not performing to his expectation, he has the power to hire and fire. He has the power to do cabinet reshuffle. He has done one earlier this year. And others are still going to come. The point must be made that the president is the one who is vested with the responsibility of delivering democratic dividends. He knows those who he will have to appoint, recruit, to get the job done. Are they doing the job? Yes. Are they doing the job to his satisfaction? It is the president who will tell us. If Nigerians are complaining about a particular minister not doing well, the president has the responsibility of rejigging his cabinet, retooling, and bringing on board those persons that can add value in the process of delivering those democratic dividends, his campaign promises encapsulated in the Hope agenda. So, for me, I don't want us to dwell on this issue of ethnicity and else, because if you look at appointments, they are spread across all the 6 geopolitical zones. They are spread across all the 774 local governments. They may not, people tend to categorize appointment on the basis of juicy appointment, not juicy. For God's sake, what is your motive for seeking public service? Your motive is that no matter how little a position is, try and make good use of it. Bring in your own capacity, bring in your own patriotism, and help to deepen the conversation around governance and make things better for the ordinary person.
Okay.
This idea of thinking that one position is juicy, another is not juicy, is to me, an indication that corruption rules the game, and that shouldn't be. So, El-Rufai may complain now, he may lament now. Those are very cheap selling points for his next political journey or adventure. But I can tell you that he is not consistent with that, because during Buhari, we saw so much of polarization in that respect that we didn't hear El-Rufai complain one bit.
I mean, recently, the All Progressives Congress had a national meeting where they, of course, passed a vote of confidence in President Bola Tinubu. However, there are concerns, even amongst party members, and reconciliatory committees, we are proposed to be set up. We are also seeing some strong members within the party voice out, even against the administration. We have, for instance, former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, who has been very much outspoken against the Tinubu administration, the likes of El-Rufai too. And we're also seeing some members who are pretty much dissatisfied. Some of those issues were even addressed during that meeting. So my question to you, sir, is how united is the APC?
Well, you see, you have mentioned persons who have lived almost all their adult lives in politics. Rotimi Amechi has spent 24 good years in this democracy, from being speaker 8 years, or being governor 8 years, minister 8 years. Haba, my brother, it's time for him to also take the back seat and allow other persons to grow from Rivers State. You see, the point must be made. If it is not you, if you are not being appointed, you shouldn't try to spoil the cookie jar. You just try as much as possible to convey your thoughts by way of support through appropriate channels to the constituted authority, in this case, the president. These persons have access to him. They can talk to him through persons. They can send notes to him and encourage him in the spirit of one political party, being members of APC and all that. But if they are trying to pull out and they are trying to justify it, it will also show the same character of political engagement that have dominated public discourse for quite some time. Because whether you like it or not, a lot of persons in APC were from the PDP. They were PDP. So if it is not suitable here, you go the other way. So at this level of these persons, having been former governor for 8 years, having been ministers, having served in this category, they shouldn't be appearing too hungry for position. And because they were not given positions or not being cultivated, then they want to ensure that they rock the boat. That shouldn't be the motivation. Because that will not be consistent with even inspiring younger elements of Nigerians who want to, who want to try their hands in politics. They should be able to live above board, try and find avenues to interact with the governor. Today there was a NEC meeting, yesterday was a caucus meeting. If they attend this meeting, nobody will stop them. They will have opportunity to even see the president there if they think that the president has become elusive to them. And they will be able to pass across whatever, whatever ideas or points they intend to raise. I don't want a situation where people will just, because their own interests, are not being served, they want to rock the boat and also make a point that they are formidable political figures.
All right.
It doesn't work at all times. There are scenarios where such things work, but in this present circumstance, I think the president is trying his best within what he met on ground, and he has really added value, to governance. We can see a lot of things happening, even though some of them will require some long time before they begin to yield the appropriate fruits.
Just before I let you go, because we are really pressed, for time, you were one time the media spokesperson for the former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, who recently released his autobiography. This particular book, of course, has generated and is still generating reactions and, counter reactions too. I mean, you knew him to a very large extent personally. What do you make of some of the issues treated in that book? Many Nigerians are saying, you know what, it just looks like someone came out, apologized for his sins, got a loud standing ovation, and even got some money at the end of the day, but justice wasn't served. So, I mean, you knew him personally. What do you make of what we saw at that book launch and the content of the book itself?
The point must be made that the man was telling his own story. I wasn't there with him. You were not there with him. All those other persons who are making all the noises all over the place were not there with him. He has the right and the poetic license and the literary license and the authority to write his memoirs the way he feels. And those who are condemning, those who are complaining, who are raising doors over nothing, they can also write their own if they think that Babangida's own do not serve their own interests. But to deny him that opportunity of being the author of his own memoir is where you are trying to miss the point altogether. General Babangida was the president of Nigeria for 8 good years. He was the one who contended with a lot of challenges here and there. So he's giving us an eyewitness account, and you are complaining that his eyewitness account is not complete, or you are complaining that why should he give his eyewitness account? It's permitted under the law to do so. He's trying to build a presidential library where some of these things will be kept for future generations of Nigerians, and you are complaining why the people donate to him. If you were such a bad person, do you think that the quality audience that he received at the Transcorp meeting last week, Thursday, 20th of February, you think you have such quality audience?
So are you suggesting, you suggesting he was a good leader?
He was a fantastic leader, and I have challenged quite a number of persons to debate on this. Anytime people, a lot of Nigerians don't read. They don't even have time to read. Even the generation that we have today, the younger generation who don't even know anything about that, they will tell you this, they will tell you that.
I mean, just quickly before we go, what do you make of the annulment of the June 12 election and him just coming out now to say, you know what, this individual did win? Should it just end there?
What else do you want after 32 years? The point must be made that he ran a military government. He didn't run a democracy. People are missing the point. They got there by plotting coup, and they got into government by that. And even at that, He introduced military president as his own name, as his own title, because he wanted a semblance of something that was voted for. And all through the kind of engagements he had, throwing issues to public discourse before decisions are taken, they were part and parcel of what make his government different from every other military regime. And so he ran a military regime, no doubt, and decisions were taken based on the decision, the ideas, opinions of his contemporaries. He was just first among equals. Don't forget they have Armed Forces Ruling Council. They discuss issues and all that. What happened on June 12th was a coup versus coup. It was a polarized military, factionalized military that were trying to exit from power, but in that process, you have to safeguard the unity of the country and ensure that they don't rock the boat.
All right.
Don't forget that Babangida fought civil war in this country. He had injuries both on his nerve and
we need to go.
And for that reason, some people were mocking him that he was on wheelchair. They don't know that it was the injury he received in 1969 that actually, snowballed into what he's suffering today.
Okay.
So those of them who fought for the unity of this country, they have certain sentiments that they can't toy with. And so the achievements of IBB,
Mr. Kassim,
the engineering of the nation, nobody can take it away from him.
All right.
Even this private media, you are showing me, even this private media now, he was one who introduced it.
Well, Mr. Kassim Afegbua, we really need to go. Maybe we would have you again to talk about, reactions on this book.
Anytime.
All right. We'll definitely bring you on. We'll definitely bring you on. Thank you so much for your time. Kassim Afegbua is a chieftain with the All Progressives Congress. Of course, the APC joins virtually from Abuja.